You know that feeling when you sit down to play just one more mission and suddenly the sun's coming up? When hours vanish like minutes because you're so locked into a game that the real world just disappears? That's what we're diving into today. These are 20 games so addictive, you'll completely lose track of time. Assassin's Creed Odyssey takes you to the golden age of Greece during the Peloponnesian War, and it's a playground of myth, history, and adventure that'll consume weeks of your life. You choose between Cassandra or Alexios, mercenaries with Spartan blood searching for family, and caught in a conspiracy that blurs the lines between myth and reality. The world is massive: sun-drenched islands, ancient ruins, bustling cities like Athens and Sparta, and seas filled with enemy ships just waiting to be conquered. The RPG mechanics elevate everything. Dialogue choices actually matter, shaping relationships and story outcomes. The combat is fluid and satisfying, parrying sword strikes, breaking shields with Spartan kicks, and unleashing devastating abilities like raining arrows. You'll spend hours customizing gear, chasing legendary assets, and experimenting with builds that make you an unstoppable force. Naval combat returns with a vengeance. Sailing the Aegean Sea, boarding enemy vessels, upgrading your ship with better weapons and crew, it's piracy with a Greek twist. The exploration is massive. Ancient tombs hiding legendary loot, cultist members to hunt down and eliminate, mythical creatures like Medusa and the Minotaur that test your skills. Odyssey doesn't just let you visit ancient Greece, it lets you live in it, shaping history with every choice. If you've ever wanted to ride with Spartans, this is your game. Metal Gear Solid 5. The Phantom Pain is stealth perfection wrapped in an open-world sandbox that refuses to let you go. This isn't just a game, it's a tactical playground where every mission feels like you're directing your own spy thriller. Picture this: you're perched on a clifftop overlooking an enemy outpost in the Afghan desert. You've got a tranquilizer rifle, a cardboard box, and about 17 different ways to complete this mission. Do you go in guns blazing, sneak through the shadows, call in an airstrike, Fulton extract every single guard to build your private army? The choice is yours, and that freedom is intoxicating. The gameplay is addicting. You're constantly experimenting, testing new weapons, recruiting soldiers with unique skills, developing your mother base into a sprawling offshore fortress. The Fulton system alone will have you obsessively extracting everything from elite snipers to wild animals because you need that S-rank soldier for your R&D team. Every mission rewards creativity. Hours vanish as you refine tactics, chase perfect runs, and watch your army grow. If tactical freedom is your thing, clear your schedule. The Elder Scrolls 5. Skyrim is the ultimate one more quest simulator, and it's been devouring players' free time since 2011. You know a game is special when people are still discovering new secrets over a decade later. This is open-world immersion at its finest. A frozen Nordic landscape filled with snow-capped mountains, ancient ruins, and dragons that can literally appear out of nowhere to ruin your day. You're walking to a quest marker, minding your own business, when suddenly you hear that iconic roar and the sky goes dark. It's thrilling. But the real magic of Skyrim isn't the dragons, it's the freedom. You can be a stealthy archer picking off bandits from the shadows, a heavy armored warrior smashing faces with a warhammer, a mage hurling fireballs and summoning storms, or literally any combination you can imagine. Want to ignore the main quest entirely and just become a master blacksmith? Go for it. Feel like joining the Thieves Guild and robbing every house in Riften? The game won't stop you. The faction questlines alone, Dark Brotherhood, Companions, College of Winterhold, each one is a fully realized story that could be its own game. And then there's the modding community. Skyrim has been kept alive by thousands of creators, adding everything from visual overhauls to entirely new questlines, making it a game you can literally play forever. You'll start playing at 8 p.m, blink, and suddenly it's 4 a.m, and you're still exploring some random cave you stumbled into. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Fallout New Vegas is Obsidian Entertainment at their peak, delivering a Mojave wasteland that feels alive with political intrigue, moral ambiguity, and some of the best writing in gaming history. You start the game shot in the head and left for dead in a shallow grave. Your mission? Track down the man who tried to kill you. But that's just the beginning of a story that branches in more directions than you can imagine. What makes New Vegas so addictive is how every choice ripples outward. Help one faction and you make enemies of another. Solve a quest peacefully through speech checks or go in guns blazing. The game respects both approaches. The faction system is genius. You've got the authoritarian Caesar's Legion, the bureaucratic NCR, the enigmatic Mr. House, and the option to say, screw it, and take Vegas for yourself. Each path feels entirely different, which is why people replay this game obsessively. The companions are unforgettable. Boone, the stoic sniper with a tragic past. Veronica, the sarcastic Brotherhood scribe with a power fist. The DLC add-ons, Dead Money, Old World Blues, Lonesome Road, they're not just add-ons, they're philosophical explorations of letting go, the dangers of obsession, and the cost of war. And the gameplay? just beautiful. Vat's slow-motion headshots never get old, and you'll spend hours just wandering the wasteland, discovering hidden vaults, quirky side quests, and environmental stories told through skeletons and terminal entries. New Vegas respects your intelligence and rewards exploration. It's a game that trusts you to forge your own path. Batman. Arkham Origins often gets overshadowed by Asylum and City, but this prequel is criminally underrated and worth your time. It's Christmas Eve in Gotham, and a younger, angrier Bruce Wayne faces his deadliest night yet. Black Mask has put a bounty on Batman's head, and 8 of the world's most dangerous villains are coming to collect. The snow-covered streets, twinkling lights contrasting with dark alleys, the whole city feeling hostile and alive, it's peak Batman atmosphere. What makes Origins special is seeing Batman before he became the legend. He's still figuring things out, making mistakes, learning what kind of hero Gotham needs. The story explores his first encounter with the Joker in one of the most chilling origin stories ever told. The boss fights against assassins like Deathstroke and Copperhead are some of the best in the series. Challenging, cinematic, and brutally satisfying. The gameplay is classic Arkham. Predator encounters where you pick off thugs from the shadows, detective mode investigations, the free-flow combat system that makes you feel like an unstoppable force. Gliding across Gotham's rooftops never gets old, and the crime scene reconstructions using the Bat computer are detective work done right. Origins might not revolutionize the formula, but it perfects it with a story that hits harder than people give it credit for. Stellar Blade is a newcomer that's already made waves as one of the most visually stunning and mechanically tight action games in recent memory. This is a post-apocalyptic Earth reclaimed by the Night, and you're Eve, sent from a colony to save humanity. The world blends decaying urban landscapes with sci-fi aesthetics, neon lights cutting through rusted metal, overgrown cities hiding secrets, boss arenas that feel ripped from a fever dream. It's gorgeous, atmospheric, and dripping with style. The combat is where Stellar Blade shines. This is all about precision, parrying attacks at the last possible second, dodging through enemy combos, and punishing openings with devastating counters. It feels like a dance where one mistake costs you dearly, but nailing a perfect parry sequence makes you feel unstoppable. Stellar Blade also rewards aggression, letting you unleash powerful skills that tear through enemies. Boss fights are intense, pattern-based encounters that demand focus and adaptability. Exploration keeps you hooked between battles. You're uncovering lore through environmental storytelling, finding upgrades tucked in hidden corners, and piecing together what happened to Earth. Eve's mission carries emotional weight as you meet survivors and uncover the truth behind humanity's fall. The game respects your skill and rewards mastery. If you love challenging action combat with breathtaking visuals, Stellar Blade delivers. The Reboot trilogy has you witnessing Lara Croft's transformation from a terrified archaeology student into the fearless icon we know. The first game throws young Lara onto Yamatai, a mysterious island where everything goes wrong. She's not a hardened adventurer yet. She's scared, desperate, and learning to survive. Watching her progression from that first brutal kill to confidently taking on armed mercenaries is powerful storytelling through gameplay. Rise of the Tomb Raider expands everything. The Siberian wilderness is breathtaking, filled with ancient tombs that actually feel like puzzle-filled dungeons worth exploring. The crafting system, stealth mechanics, and combat options give you freedom in how you approach encounters. Shadow of the Tomb Raider brings the trilogy home in the jungles of South America, delivering the darkest, most intense entry with apocalyptic stakes and moral weight. What makes this trilogy addictive is the perfect blend of exploration, combat, and puzzle solving. Raiding tombs feels rewarding. The set pieces are spectacular, collapsing structures, avalanches, underwater sequences that'll have you holding your breath. Collectibles and challenge tombs give completionists hundreds of hours of content. By the end, you've watched Lara become a legend, and the journey feels earned. Resident Evil 4 Remake takes one of the greatest games ever made and somehow makes it even better. This is Capcom's new engine working overtime to deliver a 2023 reimagining that's both faithful and fresh. You're Leon S. Kennedy, now a government agent sent to a remote Spanish village to rescue the president's daughter. What starts as a simple rescue mission quickly descends into a nightmare of Las Plagas-infected villagers, cult conspiracies, and body horror that'll make your skin crawl. The tension is relentless. Resources are scarce, every bullet counts, every herb matters, and inventory management is very important. The over-the-shoulder perspective puts you right in the action as chainsaw-wielding maniacs charge at you and you're frantically aiming for headshots. The combat is tactical, parrying attacks with your knife, using environmental traps, knowing when to fight and when to run. Boss encounters against El Gigante, the Lake Monster, and Salazar are remixed and terrifying, but it's also the atmosphere that hooks you. The village feels oppressively hostile. The castle is gothic dread incarnate. The island facility is industrial horror. Ashley, who was annoying in the original, is now genuinely likable. Leon's one-liners land perfectly without breaking immersion. Unlockables like the infinite rocket launcher and New Game Plus modes give it massive replay value. The remake is a beautiful masterpiece. Elden Ring takes everything brutal and brilliant about Dark Souls and unleashes it into a massive open world that'll consume your life. This is the Lands Between, a shattered realm of crumbling castles, poisonous swamps, underground cities, and bosses so massive they'll make you question your life choices. You're a tarnished, called back to claim the Elden Ring and become Elden Lord. Simple premise, absolutely not a simple game. What makes Elden Ring so addictive is the freedom it gives you to bash your head against any wall you choose. Stuck on a boss? Go explore somewhere else. Find better gear, level up, summon spirit ashes, or just get good and come back for revenge. The build variety is insane. You can be a colossal sword-wielding strength monster, a spell-slinging sorcerer raining meteors from the sky, a bleed-focused dex assassin, or some unholy combination that breaks the game in the best way possible. Every corner of this world hides something: a hidden dungeon, a legendary weapon, an optional boss that's somehow harder than the main story. You'll spend hours just riding torrent across golden fields, stumbling into areas way above your level, getting absolutely destroyed and thinking, "I'll come back for you later." The satisfaction of finally beating that boss who killed you 40 times? Unmatched. Elden Ring doesn't hold your hand. It respects you enough to let you struggle, learn, and triumph. And when you do, it feels earned. Style, substance, and existential dread. Persona 3 Reload takes one of the most beloved JRPGs of all time and rebuilds it from the ground up with stunning visuals, refined combat, and that signature Atlas style that oozes from every menu screen. This is a game about death, friendship, and making every moment count, which is ironic because you'll lose track of time completely while playing it. You're a transfer student in a Japanese high school by day, and by night you're climbing Tartarus, a twisted tower filled with shadows, fighting to prevent the end of the world. It's part social sim, part dungeon crawler, and completely addictive. The calendar system is genius. Every day matters. You're balancing schoolwork, building relationships with classmates, joining clubs, studying for exams, and dungeon crawling during the dark hour, a hidden time between midnight and dawn. Social links aren't just side content, they make your personas stronger in combat. You'll agonize over how to spend each day because you most likely won't be able to do everything in your first playthrough, which makes every choice feel meaningful. The turn-based combat is satisfying and strategic. Exploit enemy weaknesses, summon personas, trigger all-out attacks that never get old. The music is unforgettable, blending hip-hop, pop, and melancholy in a way that perfectly captures the game's themes. And that memento mori philosophy, the reminder that death gives life meaning, it hits different when you're bonding with characters you genuinely care about. Final Fantasy VII. Rebirth doesn't just remake a classic, it reimagines what an RPG can be in 2024. This is the kind of game that makes you call in sick to work because you absolutely need to know what happens next. From the moment you step out of Midgar and into the vast, open world beyond, you're hit with this overwhelming sense of freedom and possibility. The world is gorgeous. Sprawling grasslands, towering mountains, coastal cities that feel alive with detail. Every region feels handcrafted, begging to be explored, and you'll find yourself constantly distracted by side quests, minigames, and secrets tucked into every corner. The combat system is a perfect evolution of Remake's foundation. Fast, tactical, and satisfying. You're switching between party members mid-battle, chaining abilities, staggering enemies, and pulling off limit breaks that never get old. Each character plays completely differently, so you're constantly experimenting with team compositions and strategies. But it's the story that truly hooks you. Cloud's fractured memories, Aerith's uncertain fate, Sephiroth's haunting presence, it's all woven together with emotional gut punches and plot twists that'll have you sitting through credits in stunned silence. You'll lose entire weekends to this one. Granblue Fantasy. Relink is a love letter to anime aesthetics and satisfying action combat wrapped in a gorgeous package. This is Cygames bringing their beloved mobile gacha game into a full-fledged console experience, and it delivers. You're the captain, leading a crew of skyfarers across the Grande Skydom, a realm of floating islands, ancient mysteries, and powerful primal beasts. The world feels alive with color, personality, and that distinct anime charm that makes every cutscene feel like you're watching a high-budget series. The real-time combat is satisfying. You've got a roster of playable characters, each with completely unique playstyles: Catalina's swordplay and defensive prowess, Zeta's spear combos and aerial attacks, Cagliostro's magical bombardments. Swapping between characters keeps combat fresh, and finding your main becomes genuinely exciting. The combo system rewards aggression and timing, with flashy link attacks that let your party unleash devastating team-up moves. Where Relink truly shines is multiplayer. Teaming up with friends to tackle raid bosses and high-difficulty quests is pure chaos in the best way. The endgame grind, chasing better gear, optimizing builds, taking on super bosses, has that addictive loop that keeps you coming back. Even solo, the AI companions are competent, and the story delivers emotional beats that land surprisingly hard. If you love anime-style action RPGs with deep combat and gorgeous visuals, Granblue Fantasy, Relink is an easy recommendation. Lies of P takes the classic tale of Pinocchio and twists it into a gothic Souls-like nightmare set in the Belle Epoque era. You're P, a puppet trying to become human while navigating Krat, a city overturned by a puppet frenzy where your once helpful mechanical brothers have turned into murderous abominations. The streets are soaked in blood, the architecture is hauntingly beautiful, and the atmosphere is oppressive in the best way. This is From Software-inspired action done right, with enough unique mechanics to stand on its own. The combat is all about precision and timing. Your weapon system is brilliant. You can mix and match blade and handle combinations to create custom movesets that suit your playstyle. Parrying is king here. Nailing a perfect block and countering with a devastating riposte feels incredible. The boss fights are brutal, creative, and memorable, mechanical monstrosities that test your pattern recognition and patience. You'll die a lot, and you'll love every second of it. What sets Lies of P apart is the lying mechanic. Throughout your journey, you're given dialogue choices where you can tell the truth or lie. Each choice shapes P's humanity and affects the story's outcome. It's a clever narrative layer that makes you question what it truly means to be human. The world is filled with secrets, hidden paths, and lore that rewards exploration. If you loved Bloodborne's atmosphere but want something fresh, Lies of P delivers. God of War took a rage-fueled action series and transformed it into one of gaming's most emotional, mature narratives. This isn't the Kratos you remember. No Greek gods and mindless vengeance. Now he's older, haunted by his past, living in the Norse realms with his son Atreus. His wife has passed, and her final wish was for her ashes to be scattered from the highest peak. It sounds simple, but it's not. This journey becomes a story about fatherhood, grief, legacy, and learning to be better than the monster you once were. The one-shot camera is beautiful. No cuts, no loading screens, just one continuous take that follows Kratos and Atreus through breathtaking realms, intense combat, and quiet character moments. You feel every step of their journey. The Leviathan axe is one of the most satisfying weapons ever created. Throwing it, recalling it to your hand, freezing enemies solid. Combat is tactical and brutal, blending axe combos with bare-handed pummeling and Atreus' bow support. The world building is phenomenal. Norse mythology comes alive through stunning environments. Midgard's forests, Helheim's frozen wasteland, Alfheim's blinding light. You'll fight trolls, dragons, and gods while uncovering lore hidden in every corner. The relationship between Kratos and Atreus evolves naturally, from tension to understanding to genuine love. Far Cry 3 isn't just a game, it's a masterclass in villain design, open-world chaos, and the slow descent from tourist to killer. You're Jason Brody, a privileged kid on vacation with friends when everything goes horribly wrong. Pirates capture your group, and you're thrust into the Rook Islands, a tropical paradise that's actually a nightmare of violence, drug trade, and madness. Your mission? Rescue your friends. But along the way, something changes in you, and that transformation is disturbing, thrilling, and impossible to look away from. Vaz Montenegro is one of gaming's most iconic villains. That definition of insanity speech? Chilling. He's unpredictable, terrifying, and somehow magnetic. You hate him, but can't stop watching. The story explores how violence changes people, how Jason goes from terrified to addicted to the hunt. It's dark, uncomfortable, and brilliant. The gameplay is addicting, liberating outposts by going loud or picking off enemies silently, climbing radio towers to reveal the map, hunting animals for crafting upgrades. Please don't run anyone over, the guilt is real. The skill tree unlocks brutal takedowns and parkour moves that make you feel like a predator, driving vehicles off cliffs, setting fires that spread naturally, causing absolute mayhem. It's a sandbox that rewards creativity. The Rook Islands are beautiful and deadly, filled with side content that ranges from knife-throwing challenges to drug-induced hallucination sequences that mess with your head. Gears of War Reloaded launched in August 2025, and it's the ultimate celebration of the franchise that defined a generation. This is the original Gears of War completely rebuilt from the ground up. 4K resolution, crossplay across all platforms, and every piece of post-launch content included. If you've never experienced the brutal cover-based combat that made Gears famous, this is your chance. If you're a veteran, get ready to relive the chaos with a fresh coat of paint that's gorgeous. The campaign throws you onto a planet ravaged by the Locust Horde, monstrous creatures emerging from underground to wipe out humanity. You're Marcus Phoenix, a disgraced soldier pulled from prison to help Delta Squad push back the invasion. The story is gritty, intense, and surprisingly emotional, especially the bond between Marcus and his best friend Dom. You'll fight through destroyed cities, underground tunnels, and war-torn battlefields where every corner could be your last. The gameplay is testosterone-fueled action, roadie running between cover, active reloading for damage boosts, and that iconic chainsaw bayonet, the Lancer, that turns enemies into red mist. The sound design makes every weapon feel powerful and satisfying. Co-op is where Gears truly shines, teaming up with a friend to flank enemies, revive each other under fire, and coordinate tactics never gets old. Multiplayer is fast, competitive, and unforgiving in the best way. Gears of War. Reloaded proves that some games are truly timeless. Doom. Eternal doesn't want you to take cover. It doesn't want you to play it safe. It wants you in constant motion, chainsawing demons for ammo, glory killing for health, and setting everything on fire for armor. This is a masterclass in aggressive, adrenaline-fueled combat that punishes hesitation and rewards pure, unfiltered carnage. You're the Doomslayer, Hell's worst nightmare, and you're ripping and tearing through Mars, Earth, and literal hell itself to stop a demonic invasion. The heavy metal soundtrack kicks in, and suddenly you're a one-man apocalypse. The combat loop is perfectly balanced chaos. Every weapon has a purpose. The super shotgun for close-range devastation, the ballista for precision damage, the BFG for when you absolutely need everything in the room to die immediately. Resource management is key. You're constantly cycling between weapons, managing ammo, and making split-second decisions while dodging projectiles from 20 directions. It's stressful in the best way possible. And the level design? Chef's kiss. You're platforming between floating islands, swinging across chasms with meat hooks, discovering secrets tucked in every corner. The Slayer Gates test your mastery with brutal combat encounters that'll have you sweating. Doom. Eternal respects your skill and demands excellence. If you want a shooter that makes you feel invincible while keeping you on the edge of your seat, this is it. Yakuza. Like a Dragon took one of gaming's most beloved brawler franchises and transformed it into a turn-based RPG. On paper, that sounds like a terrible idea. In practice, it's one of the most refreshing, heartfelt, and hilarious games you'll ever play. You're Ichiban Kasuga, a low-level Yakuza who takes the fall for his boss, spends 18 years in prison, and gets out to find his entire life destroyed. Instead of revenge, Ichiban wants answers. And friends. Lots of friends. The turn-based combat is surprisingly deep. Ichiban imagines himself as a hero in a Dragon Quest game, so enemies have health bars, jobs grant different abilities, and you're pulling off team attacks that range from summoning crawfish to calling in orbital strikes. It's absurd, strategic, and endlessly entertaining. The job system lets you turn your party into whatever you need, tanks, healers, damage dealers, with outfits that get progressively more ridiculous. But the real magic is Yokohama itself. This massive city is packed with sub-stories that'll have you crying one moment and laughing the next. You'll run a business management sim, race go-karts, sing karaoke, play retro Sega games, and help citizens with problems ranging from mundane to utterly bizarre. Ichiban's optimism is infectious. He's a genuinely good person in a world that constantly kicks him down, and watching him rise with his found family is beautiful. Red Dead Redemption 2 is less a game and more a living, breathing frontier that'll swallow hundreds of hours before you even realize it. This is Rockstar at their peak, crafting an 1899 America so detailed, so real, that you'll forget you're playing a video game. You're Arthur Morgan, enforcer for the Van der Linde gang, watching the Wild West die around you as civilization creeps in. Every sunrise feels earned, every campfire conversation hits different, and every mission pulls you deeper into a story about loyalty, survival, and what it means to be an outlaw in a world that doesn't want you anymore. The world is the real star here. You'll ride through snow-covered mountains, dense forests, sprawling plains, and grimy industrial towns. The honor system tracks your choices. Help a stranger? Rob a train? Every action shapes Arthur's path. Side activities are endless. Poker games, hunting legendary animals, fishing, treasure hunting, helping strangers with problems that range from wholesome to deeply disturbing. But it's the little things that make this game unforgettable. Arthur's journal entries, the way NPCs remember your actions, dynamic weather that affects gameplay, camp interactions where the gang feels like family. You'll start a mission, get distracted hunting a perfect pelt, stumble into a stranger's quest, and suddenly, 4 hours have vanished. Red Dead 2 doesn't respect your time, it demands it, and you'll gladly give it. Ghost of Tsushima. Director's Cut is a visual masterpiece that makes you feel like you're living inside a Kurosawa film. The island of Tsushima is breathtaking. Golden fields swaying in the wind, blood-red maple leaves drifting through the air, shrines hidden in bamboo forests. You play as Jin Sakai, a samurai watching his homeland burn under Mongol invasion. Your mission? Take it back, no matter the cost to your honor. The combat is poetry in motion. Standoffs where you face down enemies in tense, deadly duels. Sword clashes that feel weighty and precise. Ghost weapons like smoke bombs and kunai for when honor isn't enough. You'll spend hours perfecting parry timing, switching between stances to counter different enemy types, and pulling off executions that look ripped straight from a samurai epic. The director's cut adds Aiki Island, a whole new region with its own story, challenges, and emotional weight that digs deep into Jin's past. But here's what really hooks you: the exploration. The wind guides you to objectives instead of waypoints. You follow golden birds to hidden shrines, bamboo strikes to test your reflexes, hot springs where Jin reflects on his journey. Photo mode might be the most dangerous feature. You'll lose hours just capturing perfect sunset shots. This game respects Japanese culture while delivering one of the most satisfying open-world experiences ever. If you haven't played this yet, you're missing out. So there you have it, 20 games so addictive, you'll absolutely lose track of time. Now, I want to hear from you. What's your go-to game when you sit down for just one quick session and suddenly the sun's coming up? Drop your all-time favorite in the comments below. If you enjoyed this list, smash that like button. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Share this with your gaming friends who need new recommendations, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. There's plenty more content coming your way.